Now on KZI 9 News at 4, is the water in Lebanon safe to drink? DEQ launches an investigation, what you need to know before turning on your faucet. Plus, shots fired in Eugene. Now police are investigating. We have new details just into the newsroom.
And it's been a very rainy day for some of us. For others, it's just getting started. I'll have more details about how much more rain is on the way and if we're still going to see that snow in the mountains as KEZI 9 News at 4 starts now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 4.
A warning for people living in downtown Lebanon. Those who aren't connected to city water could be drinking contaminated water. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Bob Schaefer. KEZI 9 News reporter Amber Wilmarth was in Lebanon today, joins us live in the newsroom to explain exactly what's going on and what the impacts could be. Amber?
Bob, I spoke with a manager at the Department of Environmental Quality, and he tells me this only impacts people who use well water. The city water is perfectly fine. Now, he tells me this is something they've been working on since the mid-90s, and right now they're seeking public comment on a long-term plan to fix it. A portion of downtown Lebanon, about 400 acres, is contaminated with some solvent chemicals. Some of that, he says, is from leaks from old dry cleaning facilities. The DEQ sent out about 1,900 letters to people living within a 900-acre stretch of that area, saying if they use well water, the DEQ would like to come over and test it. They say it can be unhealthy for people to use that contaminated water long term, but he says most people in Lebanon are using city water, so they are completely fine. And he tells me they are holding a public meeting about this and how to fix this long term. It'll be held tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the Public Library in Lebanon. Live in the newsroom, Amber Wilmarth, KEZI 9 News.
Okay, Amber, thank you very much. Good job. Now, bad news on the homeless front. The number of homeless students has increased for a fourth straight year. The state education department says more than 22,500 students were homeless at some point during the 2016-17 year. That's up more than 5% from the year before. Officials say some of the jump is tied to increased awareness about reporting homeless student data. They say a lack of affordable housing is another factor. Former Oregon Governor John Kitzhaber says he'll pay a $1,000 fine for violating ethics laws. Kitzhaber is accused of failing to publicly declare a potential conflict of interest and for claiming airline travel miles for personal use during his tenure. The agreement is subject to final approval by the Oregon Government Ethics Commission, which is meeting Friday in Salem. Now, as part of that agreement, the commission will drop its investigation into Sylvia Hayes. She's accused of using her relationship as Kitzhaber's fiancé to win contracts for her green energy consulting business. The U.S. Department of Justice said in June that the couple won't face criminal charges. Now to a crime alert. Police are investigating a late morning shooting near Autzen Stadium. They said shots were fired outside the O Bar on Commons Drive just after 11:30. Police said two men in separate vehicles were arguing and shots were fired. Both those cars took off, but police say they may have caught one of them. Neighbors say they've never seen anything like this before.
Pretty safe. It's a college neighborhood, so it's pretty noisy, but nothing like this.
Officers say nobody was hurt. The investigation still ongoing. A man accused of killing a Eugene man more than a year ago has pled not guilty to murder. Prosecutors say Kyle Woody shot and killed Anthony Johnson in September 2016. His body was found in the Whitaker neighborhood near West 4th Avenue between Monroe and Adams. For more than a year now, police searched for a suspect. We're learning more about that investigation, which was kept under wraps until now. And we'll have some more details about that coming up on KEZI 9 News at 6. Now to another update. The man accused of killing two people on a MAX train in Portland was back in court today for a bail hearing. Prosecutors are arguing against bail for Jeremy Christian, saying the safety for the surviving stabbing victim is in jeopardy. According to court documents, Christian boarded a MAX train in late May and began yelling at two teenagers. Bystanders came to the girls' aid, but Christian allegedly stabbed and killed two of them. We'll have more details about this, what went on in the courtroom today, coming up also on KEZI 9 News at 6. And investigators are looking for the driver who they say caused a 10-car crash last night on I-5 near Woodburn. Authorities say a large bandsaw fell off a truck and 10 cars hit that object. State police say one driver was injured and most of the vehicles sustained minor damage. Police say the driver of the pickup initially stopped and he ran toward the bandsaw, but then he turned around and ran once vehicles started hitting it.
Now, your first forecast with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzen.
Well, we are looking at a lot of rain across the area. You can even see it here on Storm Tracker 9 satellite and radar. A good amount of rain still moving across the area until you climb an elevation where, yes, we're seeing that change over to some snow. As we zoom out, there's a bit more moisture offshore, kind of right here. You can see at least on satellite. This is still going to move in, and we have picked up a decent amount of rain, especially along the coast where locations have picked up over an inch of rain. Newport and Florence, North Bend just shy of an inch. Along I-5, we've picked up over half an inch in both Corvallis and Eugene, but only 5/100ths of an inch in Roseburg. It's taken a long time to actually get the rain moving into your neck of the woods, but now it is, and we are going to see a nice bit of rain as we head throughout the rest of this evening and overnight tonight. A little bit of rain across the passes. We are going to see that change over to snow as we get into later tonight and early tomorrow morning. But here's a live look over Florence. You can see the raindrops on the camera here. At least we can kind of see out in the distance, something we really haven't been able to the last couple of hours. In Eugene, also looking at a lot of clouds here. Rain showers still moving across the area. It's raining and 47 degrees at this moment. We will slowly see the steady, consistent rain end as we get into tonight and then turn more to showers. So there'll be some breaks. Lows will be a mix of low 40s and upper 30s. I'll have a close look at your forecast and what you can expect for the rest of this week coming up in just a bit. Bob?
Rainy day out there. Okay, Marissa, thank you. A Vancouver veteran says a Washington company broke the law when it foreclosed on his home. And he says he's not the only one it's happened to. Taylor Vito from KGW spoke with that man who helped spark a lawsuit from the federal government against that Washington company.
Well, what I liked about was the challenge, the integrity, and the brotherhood and camaraderie.
Right out of high school in Vancouver, Jacob McGreevy knew the Marine Corps was for him. That desire to serve his country led him to partake in the initial invasion of Iraq, later the retake of Fallujah. But it was in between his third and fourth tours as a local homeowner when a major struggle began.
When I found that news out, it really just, it angered me. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
McGreevy's townhouse was foreclosed on by Northwest Trustee Services, a Seattle area company. That was in 2010. But it wouldn't be until sometime later that McGreevy learned of what's called the Service Member Civil Relief Act. It's a federal law that makes it illegal to foreclose on the home of a service member during active service and 1 year after that without a court order. McGreevy says Northwest Trustee knowingly didn't follow that law.
What I personally faced was coming back and having those rights violated. And it didn't just factor into an economic sense where I lost a house, it also factors into a mental and an emotional sense as well.
Last week, the U.S. Department of Justice announced that it was filing a federal lawsuit against Northwest Trustee. It cited McGreevy and a complaint he filed with the department. That launched a DOJ investigation.
It turns out Mr. McGreevy wasn't alone.
The department says the company illegally foreclosed on at least 27 other homes as well. That not only rattles McGreevy, but also his lawyer, a fellow Marine.
I'm offended that Northwest Title is still, one, in business, and two, refuses to accept accountability for taking advantage of our veterans.
In a statement, an attorney for Northwest Trustee Services called the lawsuit, quote, baseless, saying that the feds are wrong here. It goes on to say that the company has always supported veterans and has launched an internal review as well. McGreevy disagrees with that and wonders how many other vets across the country could be going through the same thing.
It's not just a nice sorry, we took your home. They took a tangible piece of real estate and property, and it had a detrimental effect on my finances, my credit, and everything I've done since that date.
That was Taylor Vito reporting. Now, it is worth noting that McGreevy had previously filed a civil lawsuit against Northwest Trustee and his lender based on those same violations. That case was thrown out, though. The Camas paper mill is expected to eliminate up to 300 jobs next year as it restructures. Georgia Pacific, which owns that mill, announced the cuts on Tuesday. They say it'll shut down most of its operations by the second quarter of 2018. However, the mill will still manufacture tissue. Georgia Pacific says the changes come as a direct result of the lower demand for communication papers.
As you can imagine, the employees have taken great pride and have worked very hard to try and keep those assets viable. And it's just a situation where demand is decreasing and it just is not economically viable to continue the operation.
The company is currently discussing severance and benefits packages for its employees. With the holiday season just around the corner, kids everywhere, of course, are making those wish lists. But one Thurston High School student is hoping for a very special gift, the gift of sight, and you can help make it happen. KZI 9 News reporter Rachel Maurer is live in the studio with how you can help. Right, Rachel?
Bob, Bradley Gall is an AP level student and a top musician at his school. He's also legally blind. Riley says a pair of electronic glasses would allow him to see normally, but his family can't afford them. Today, he told me how those glasses would change his life. Riley was born with a condition that makes him blind, but it's never stopped him. In fact, he's what some would call a whiz kid. He excels at physics, math, and his personal favorite, music, especially percussion. But Riley has a hard time playing along with classmates because he can't read the music. E-glasses would allow him to see the classwork, whiteboards, and friends clearly for the first time ever.
With these glasses, I'd be able to see practically like someone with 20/20 vision, with normal vision. I'd be able to see people's facial expressions for the first time.
Riley's mom says despite his challenges, he's never given up, and he's certainly not starting now. The family started a page for donations, and Riley is hoping to host a benefit concert in the near future. If you'd like to donate to Riley's cause, you can find the link on our website, KEZI.com.
I can't think of a better Christmas gift. We certainly hope he gets that. All right, thank you, Rachel. We're learning more about a deadly shooting rampage in Northern California coming up on KEZI 9 News at 4:30. Why officials say some of those suspects may not have been randomly picked. But first, how one local woman is using all those Black Friday deals to warm up the hearts and lives of animals in need this holiday season. Stick around. Most of us, of course, stock up on deals on Black Friday, but one local woman is using those deals as an opportunity to warm up the hearts and lives of those in need this holiday season. Marcy Ann is an animal rescuer and advocate for the past 3 years. She's been seizing up the Black Friday blanket deals with rescue animals in mind. She says one day she was shopping at Bi-Mart and she saw a great price tag on the blankets, and that's when she decided to buy as many as she could and donate them to animal shelters. She says last year they collected 551 blankets. She also donated the blankets to CASA, Eugene Mission, and Sacred Heart.
Our Bi-Mart in Veneta is well aware of what I do, and they've already called me to see how many blankets I might be purchasing. Their staff is great, so they're expecting me at 5:30 a.m. Black Friday.
Now, she's calling people who want to help her to support her cause by making a donation. She says her goal this year is to raise more than $1,000 and donate 550 blankets. What a great cause. The Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign kicks off in Lane County this weekend. The annual fundraiser helps raise money for those in need throughout the whole county. You can join the Salvation Army this Saturday at the Fred Meyers on West 11th at noon for an officials celebration. And as a side note, even if you can't attend, you can still contact the organization to find out about other ways that you can help. Air quality officials in the state are proposing new rules to regulate industrial toxins. They are holding a meeting in Medford tonight to get feedback on those changes. The so-called Cleaner Air Oregon rules would set health risk limits on pollutants that industrial facilities emit. It aims to protect neighbors and vulnerable people like kids from potentially harmful levels of exposure. Air quality officials say 24 states across the whole country, including California and Washington, have similar rules. Officials will be taking public comments from now until December 22nd. And the city of Springfield is hoping to inspire you to pick up your leaves by offering everybody a chance to win a gift card. The city's bagged leaf pickup program starts after Thanksgiving. Officials say if you pledge to properly dispose of your leaves, you can be entered into a drawing for a $100 gift card to a local home improvement store. You can find all the information you need, including pickup dates, on the city's website.
Well, here's a look at traffic across the area. If you live in Coos County near Bandon, it does look like we do have an accident just to the south of Bandon. One lane is blocked, so most likely alternating to get around that accident there. As we do work our way to the Eugene Springfield area where we do have heavy volumes of traffic, we are seeing some slowdowns as you work your way on 99 up to the northwest. Also looking at some water once you're exiting I-105 onto Delta. Most likely also having a lot of spots of some water, so take things slow. Looking at our usual slowdown as well, Delta Beltline interchange. I'll have a close look at what you can expect and how much more rain is on the way and if it could impact your morning commute tomorrow. Next.
Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzek.
Well, before we take a look at the forecast, I'd like to share a picture of the 6th graders from North Albany Middle School. I talked with them today about weather and what it's like to be a meteorologist. Thank you guys so much for having me up there today. Definitely a rainy drive that way and on the way back, but a very fun event, of course, like always. Here is a look at driving conditions if you're planning on driving the opposite direction over to the east across the passes. We are looking at wet roadways right now. We're seeing kind of a rain-snow mix, but that snow line is going to fall, and we are going to see more on the side of snow as we get into tonight and and early tomorrow morning before we'll begin to see things dry out. Roseburg, a lot of rain across the area, finally moving in. It's taken some time here in the Umpqua Basin to actually start to see that rain really pick up. We're at 55 degrees, reporting rainy skies at the airport. Temperatures across the rest of the area in the 40s, 48 in Cottage Grove, 47 in Eugene, Corvallis, and along the coast, a mix of mid to upper 40s. Across the passes, though, we are a few degrees above freezing. Again, that's why we're mainly looking at rain with a few snowflakes mixed in. Here's a look at Storm Tracker 9 satellite and radar. You can see that snow line. It's at about 5,500 feet right now, so that's just above the pass levels. It will fall closer to 4,500 feet as we move into tonight. For everyone else, a lot of rain across the area, and we do have a little bit more moisture stretching just offshore, and that's going to still push in as we head overnight. Now, once we get this good bulk of rain through, we'll still have showers behind it as we move into tomorrow. You can even see a couple of them here already on satellite. Those will swing throughout the day tomorrow and even into tomorrow night. As we take a look at the next few hours here on Storm Tracker 9 Stormcast, these will be the next couple of hours of the steady rain. As we move closer to about 7 o'clock, still looking at some pretty good rain bands, and then snow above about still 5,500 feet at this time, but slowly getting lower. At about 9 o'clock, it'll be closer to about 5,000 feet. We'll still see rain, though things begin to taper off along the coastline. And then once we get closer to about 11 o'clock, heaviest rain and snow will be up into the mountains, while everyone else will return to showers and possibly a few thunderstorms tonight that will even have a chance coming tomorrow. So tonight we'll see rain showers, so things will be on and off. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 40s to start off your Thursday. And then once we get into the afternoon along the coast, we'll still see some rain here. A few peaks of the sunshine, again, just a slight chance for a thunderstorm along the coast. For those of you in the Umpqua Basin, we'll see a few more sun breaks here. The coast range just to your west kind of helps break things up a little bit more, so we'll go with showers and a few sun breaks. Not going to rule out an isolated thunderstorm. Temperatures will be near 50 degrees tomorrow. The Cascades, mid 40s with rain in the foothills. Snow across the passes above 3,500 feet, where we are looking at possibly 3 to 6 inches of snow throughout the day. And finally, for the Willamette Valley, showers with a few sun breaks, and not going to rule out an isolated thunderstorm, so we may also see some graupel or that soft hail out there tomorrow. I do this because you can actually squeeze the soft hail in your hands and actually cause it to crunch, hence soft hail. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the upper 40s by the afternoon. 7-day forecast along the coast. A few showers as we get into Friday. Then we'll see a break Saturday, and it's looking like Sunday is going to be a little bit drier. That storm's slowing down a bit, but we'll definitely add back in that rain as we move into next week. The Umpqua Basin also expect that window of dry weather late Friday into Saturday and maybe a couple hours into Sunday before the next storm system moves in. Cascades, a little bit more snow on Friday, and then we'll have warmer air move in, and that'll bring rain into the area late Sunday. Finally, for the Willamette Valley, a couple more showers with this storm, actually quite a few more showers as we get into Thursday and early Friday. Still going to expect that window of dry weather, so great weather for Beavers. They play at noon. Ducks play at 4. Looking at mostly cloudy skies for the game. A little bit chilly, though, but hey, we're not going to have a soaker like what we've had all day long today. Can you imagine if Saturday was like today? I don't think it would be fun to a certain extent until you're soaked completely. Yeah.
Fun unless you're there.
Yes.
Fun to watch on TV. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Marissa. Well, folks in Douglas County are already in the holiday spirit, and they're showing it with the Umpqua Valley Festival of Lights. KZI 9 News reporter Macy Highland is live to tell us more about that. Hi, Macy.
Bob, I'm here at River Forks Park, and this is where the Umpqua Valley Festival of Lights will open for its 25th anniversary here this Sunday. Now, Kerwin Doughton is the founder and chairperson of the festival. He says this event is an important Roseburg tradition. He's seen it move from generation to generation. Children who grew up going now take their own children. It consists of a long stretch of beautiful lights, wagon rides, and the world's largest nutcracker. This year, organizers have been working with Walt Disney and will be bringing in lighted displays of some of the characters from the Disney movie Frozen. Doughton says he hopes to keep bringing in new and exciting things to the festival just like this one every year. It opens up this Sunday, November 19th. If you're hoping to drive through, it's $10 per car, and wagon rides are $5 per person. Live in Roseburg, Macy Highland, KEZI 9 News.
Must confess I've never been there, but it looks great. Thank you so much, Macy. How young is too young to have a smartphone? Well, coming up next on KZI 9 News at 4, we're going to tell you about a new campaign that's challenging parents to wait to get their kids a phone. All right, now we have a parenting alert for you about smartphones and when your children should start using them. A campaign is growing across the country to wait till eighth grade, that is. Paula Ferris explains how it works.
The pressure is on for preteens to have smartphones.
Do you know any kids that don't have smartphones?
No. And the pressure is also on for their parents.
Is there one word that you can give me to describe the thought of buying your kid a smartphone?
Dread. Regret. Frightening. And it is so addictive.
It was this pressure that led Austin mom Brooke Shannon to start Wait Until 8th, where parents sign a pledge not to get their child a smartphone before 8th grade.
I think before the Wait Till 8th pledge, parents didn't really feel like they had a choice. They could either give their kid a phone because everyone had one, or they could be one of the only quote-unquote mean moms or dads that aren't giving their kid a phone, and it just felt really lonely and isolating.
The grassroots movement is now national, and today more than 4,300 parents from all 50 states have signed the Wait Until 8th pledge.
It's awesome how you can watch videos on
texting and sharing photos.
And this week there was a screening of the documentary Screenagers about the impact of screen time on young minds at My Children's Elementary School just outside New York City.
All across the country, parents get together along with the children and say, we're going to wait. How effective do you think this movement can be?
I think the more people who can join together and say, we're going to delay this, it's a very powerful device. It's a mini computer with an internet and camera, and they're just not ready to handle the pressures, the anxiety, the depression that comes along with it.
In fact, a new study shows a link. Teenagers thinking about suicide are more likely to be users of social media, and experts say there are some real dangers to smartphones, exposing children to cyberbullying, sexting, and sexual predators.
Kids that are struggling with anxiety, low self-esteem, ADHD are much more likely to use the devices in a way where they get negative feedback. And for those kids, they're really at risk for being bullied, for getting depressed, for their grades to go down.
But now, with movements spreading around the country, parents can take control. Mom of 4, Linda Fisher, is one of them. Her eldest 2 children have smartphones.
Do you regret getting them a smartphone?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
And my 8-year-old will not be getting one until he's 13. I signed the petition for Wait Until 8th grade. It's become this crutch for them. It's an easy access, and it causes arguments.
What do you think life would be like without your smartphone?
I think it would be better in most ways.
Why?
Smartphones, they're sort of a distraction during school, which leads to bad grades and bad study habits, and then that leads to much worse things.
Now, many of the children ABC spoke with found it hard to justify why they actually needed a smartphone, except that their friends have one.